Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Review. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the IXDAO Peregrin Falcon. I believe that's the number they're going for, or the name they're going for. I received this watch for free. I actually purchased the watch and they refunded me, but no matter how I get a watch in for review, you're always going to get my honest opinion every single time. And as always, if you want to pick this up by the end of this review, go down in the video description. There will always be a link there. This time it is an affiliate link, so if you use that link, you are supporting the channel and earning me a little bit of commission, helping get in watches like these. So I really do appreciate the continued support over the years. I wouldn't be here without you guys, so thank you guys so much. So like I said, I was initially able to purchase this watch for $219 US. That does include the ridiculous tariffs. So outside the US, you should see it a little cheaper. I'm currently seeing it for $165 US, which also includes tariffs, but that includes all the discounts as well as some coins. So yeah, $165 is probably about what you should be paying for this thing. So the watch comes in 4 different dial options. I believe the green and the blue have a vertically brushed dial. These panda and reverse panda ones, they're just a normal matte dial. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a screw-down crown, a screw-down caseback, 100 meters of claimed water resistance. The dial and the hands have Swiss BGW9 Lume on them, and the watch is powered by the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz movement. So if you guys aren't familiar, this is a homage to the Hanhart Pioneer series of watches. They retail for around $3,000. I haven't been following Hanhart at all, really, but apparently this is the first good homage of that watch. So people are pretty excited about it. I'm happy to be able to show it off to you guys. So I say we get into the full review, doing a quick wrist check for the day. Wearing what I consider to be the best all-around go anywhere, do anything watch you can get on AliExpress, and that is the Chronos L6037 review right up here. All right, so let's get into dimensions. We've got a case diameter of 39.5 millimeters, a case thickness of 11.9 millimeters, a standard 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 47.4 millimeters, and on the provided FKM strap, it weighs 82 grams. So size-wise, I think for a pilot's watch, it's just about perfect, just under 40 millimeters. Good length on it too, nice and thin. I like how they sculpted this case. It looks really nice and thin. Got a little bit of turn down to those lug tips as well. It wears very flat. You can see the case back is super flat there. Doesn't protrude much at all. It's all been rounded off very nicely. We'll talk about the case finishing here in just a second, but I just like the way that this watch wears, so I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5-inch wrist, and I mean, I think it wears great. Very kind of flat, but also just hugs my wrist perfectly. There's no real gaps or anything like that. It fits nice and flat to the wrist, really low profile. It just looks fantastic. I love the light play off of the bezel and the crystal, super clear. Yeah, it's a really nice setup. I like the strap too. It feels very comfortable. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to complain about here. Yeah, here we are out in some direct sunlight there. You can see just a matte dial on this version here, but still plenty legible even in direct sunlight like this. It looks a little bit washed out from what I'm seeing through the camera, but it's definitely not that bad in person. The legibility on this watch is actually pretty darn good for being a chronograph. All right, let's go throw down some straps and let's get back to this review. And here we are on a cut to size FKM in red, just a smooth one. Links for these will be down below. An awesome strap. I think it obviously ties into the red accents on the dial on this one very nicely. Looks good. And next up we have a brown leather rally strap. This is from Undone. Super expensive strap unless you buy a watch with it, so I don't think it's worth it, but super nice strap. But I just think it looks really, really good on this one. This is actually what I've been wearing it mostly on. And here we are on a Sifu nylon strap. So there's one layer underneath the watch there. It's a nice thing about these Sifu straps is there's one layer, though it looks a lot like a 2-layer one. This one's just in dark gray. I think it goes great with it. And lastly, here we are on a tan Cincy Strapco SF2, so 2 layers underneath the watch there. Still wears very nice. It doesn't feel top heavy on the strap at all. Really thin case back on it too. So yeah, it just helps it feel a little bit planted, and I think it looks really good on this one. Actually, I was surprised. All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about case finishing. And case finishing is actually done very nicely. You can see on the tops of the lugs here, you have this vertical brushing that goes onto the tips of the lugs there. You have these nice high polished chamfers there. The only issue that I really see with that is that the left side here, the transition isn't super sharp like you get on like San Martin or something like that. That's a pretty tough transition. There's no real ridge there, so I can see why they kind of struggled with it. It's not something that I really notice until I get up close to it, but I just wanted to point that out to you. They could have done a little bit better on those transitions there. This bottom transition looks fine though. The case finishing on the side here, nice horizontal brushing. They do have a nice chamfer on the bottom side of the case too, so it's nice and soft on wrist. Flipping it to the crown side here, you got a nice big onion style crown there. Looks fantastic with the IXDAO logo on it. The knurling on that crown matches the bezel pretty much perfectly. It looks really, really good. You have simple piston style pushers here, polished on the reset here, and then you have an anodized one that kind of matches the dial color on some of them or the accent color on other ones. So yeah, really a nice little touch, and that's a homage to the Hanhart. Flipping it over to the case back here, you can see really nice style of case back. We have this kind of, I'm assuming that's a Peregrin Falcon, holding the IXDAO logo, has IXDAO branding up there. Chronograph 100 meters, 316L stainless steel. And then you have this nice decorative coinage there, but you also have just simple notches there to get a tool in when you need to swap out the battery on this watch. So yeah, it's kind of the perfect little case back. The finishing on it is just excellent. Really, really happy with that. Sometimes these engravings can be a little scratchy. This one is not scratchy at all. It's fantastic. And like I mentioned earlier, like all these bottom edges of the case here, they've all been rounded off so nicely. It is super smooth on the wrist. It feels great. Even these little corners here that you would expect to be pretty sharp, even those have been rounded off. So they just did a very nice job finishing this off and making it nice and comfortable on wrist. I think the finishing, the brushing, and the polishing is done pretty good. I do wish they would have paid a little bit more attention to those transitions there, but other than that, it's not something you really notice on wrist. It just kind of gives a nice silhouette where you have the brushing here and then this nice polishing here. It kind of slims down the watch just a little bit. But yeah, I like the way it looks. Another aspect to the case is the bezel. So we do have a rotating bezel on this watch. Really nicely done. That coin edge looks fantastic there. I mean, just the attention to detail. It looks, yeah, it just looks really, really good. You do have a painted section here for your 12 o'clock pip. It's not loomed or anything like that. The alignment on it, it's a little bit off, but it's not bad. It's not anything that's bothered me. The action on the bezel, I was really, really surprised. I was expecting this because I'm pretty sure the Hanhart and most other of these style pilot watches with rotating bezels, they are a friction-based bidirectional. So I was kind of expecting that, but this is a simple 120 click diver style of bezel. But I gotta say, they did a very nice job on it. The clicks are nice and crisp. This is one of the better bezel actions I've seen on a watch period. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. The grip is very good. I'll let you listen to it here. So there's like no play in the bezel at all. Nice solid resistance all the way around. There's no high spots or anything like that. It's a pretty, I would say it's a little bit tight, but it's not so tight. You got plenty of grip on that thing, so it just feels really solid. The clicks are high quality sounding as well. They're kind of a high pitch, but also like a deeper thunking when you go slow. So yeah, I mean, the bezel on this watch is excellent. A little bit of a surprise. I kind of wish they would have done a bidirectional friction bezel, but they executed this one good enough where I'm not disappointed at all, really. So yeah, really happy with the bezel action on this watch and really happy with the bezel itself. I mean, just look how cool that is. Looks really, really good. All right, so let's talk about the crystal. They do list it as sapphire, so we will test it first. It is positive for sapphire. So we have a beautiful box style sapphire crystal with clear and reflective coating. IXDAO use some of the nicest crystals I've seen on watches. This is no exception. That crystal is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at the distortion on the edges. It's a like I said earlier, it's a box style, so you can kind of see it's very clear at the extreme angles there, but you get that nice distortion on the edges. It looks really good. They chose an excellent crystal on this watch. All right, so let's talk about the dial on the watch. So I opted for the reverse panda. This one here is just a simple matte black. If you go for the blue or the green, it does have a really nice brushing effect to it. But yeah, I think the black and the white, they're just a matte dial. You have two recessed subdials here. I'll show you those up close. You can see, so they are recessed there. They got some nice subdial hands there. The 3 o'clock subdial is the dreaded 24-hour dial. Nobody really likes that one, but this is what we're dealing with when we have this movement. They can't really swap that out. So, yeah, it's just kind of what we have to deal with until someone else comes out with a nicer movement. The 9 o'clock subdial here is your running chronograph minutes hands, sorry. So it is a 60-minute timer. It's just one that gradually sweeps over. The dial itself, you can see it does have kind of a sloped chapter ring that's part of the dial on the outside in white with 5-minute markings. Everything is done very nice. It's a very subtle detail, but you can see here that it is kind of raised up from the main part of the dial there. It's just a nice subtle detail that just makes it look a lot nicer. We have our simple matte black background there, IXDAO logo at the 12 o'clock position, check altitude at the 6 o'clock position. People are going to balk at that. IXDAO, they're kind of notorious for putting odd lettering or wording on a watch. This is a pilot watch. Check altitude is something that might have been said, back in the 60s. So I don't hate it, but something different there would have been a lot better in my opinion, but it is what it is. I don't hate it. It's kind of subtle. It doesn't bother me much at all. You have your printed numerals there at all the hour markers except 3 and 9 o'clock with these little Lume plots here. Everything is done nicely. The handset that they chose, I love it. Really nice size to it, nice and bold. You get this kind of bisected cathedral style handset. They're fully brushed, so they don't really disappear at all. They stand out and they're very nice. The only issue I have, and it's going to be an issue on the watch that it's homaging, is the hour hand does get in the way of the subdials a little bit, but there's not a whole lot you can do about that. But yeah, I like the dial layout. I think the proportions are nicely done. There's just not much to complain about. I like the seconds hand as well, reaching right out to the minute track there. Yeah, good handset, good dial proportions, good dial finishing. It's not anything fancy, but really nicely done. You can see the subdial hands. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. They are lumed, and so is the rest of the dial here. So I will pop up a lume shot here. You can see it against a couple other watches in the collection. It's the Swiss BGW9 lume, so it's that ice blue glow. It's actually pretty decent on this watch. The printed dial does fade before the hands do, but the hands are really strong. But yeah, a little bit disappointing on the dial itself, but really it's not bad. I can still read this in the middle of the night with my eyes adjusted, so it's not that bad. But yeah, I could use a couple more layers on the dial itself. But yeah, the lume on the watch, it's okay. It's just not anything super impressive. All right, so the movement inside is the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz movement. We've seen this movement many, many times. They're plus or minus 30 seconds per month is the stated accuracy. They usually run within 2 seconds a month, for me at least. They're very accurate. They're very reliable. They're robust. They're tough. Yeah, I mean, they're just great movements. 3 years of battery life, I believe, as well. So yeah, there's just not a whole lot to complain about. That 24-hour dial is going to be a sticking point for a lot of people, but they just can't swap that out. I wish Seiko would replace that with, like a running seconds hand would be awesome. But yeah, that's just kind of what we have to deal with, sadly. But other than that, the movement is great. It's operated by these crowns here. So we have our normal 3 o'clock crown here. Screw down crown, nice and smooth. I'm going to stop the chronograph here just because I don't want to mess anything up. But yeah, it's the first position does nothing. The second position, there is a date wheel back there. I can hear it clicking around. You can kind of see the hour hand jumping a little bit. That's just a trait of the Seiko VK series of movements. Pull it out to the third position. That would hack the movement. And this is where you set your time. Everything functions exactly as you would expect it to. You can see the hand alignment there. Really nicely done, even down here. Perfect. So yeah, I've got no real complaints with the hand setting or the time setting or anything like that. The crown, it's got a little bit of wobble to it, but kind of expected on a watch of this size, and it's really not that bad. You push it in, you start screwing down the crown, it grabs onto those threads immediately. Nice, smooth screw in, screw out action. Plenty of grip on the crown too, and there's not a sharp edge on that thing in sight. So really happy with the crown. Starting the chronograph movement, push the top pusher here, you get a nice satisfying click from the Seiko VK. This is where the mecha part comes into play. So you do have some mechanical parts with the start, stop, and reset. You get the nice sweep, 5 ticks per second there. So yeah, I mean, these movements are great. I really do like them. Click the top button to stop it there, click the bottom, and it snaps right back to 12 o'clock. The alignment on this one, just about spot on. So really happy with the alignment. Really happy with the movement in general. I've got no issues with them. I have them in so many watches, and yeah, they're still running great for me. So no issues with the movement in this price point, I think. All right, so let's talk about the strap. So the strap is an odd one for me. I don't mind it. I think it actually looks pretty good. It's an FKM rubber, and it's in a pilot style. So we have the pilot style of rivets here, and you have this pilot style of taper where it's kind of an abrupt taper about an inch away from the lugs, and then it goes down to 18 millimeters. So 20 millimeters down to 18 millimeters. You do have a nice signed buckle there as well. Really happy with the buckle on this watch. It sits nice and flush on the wrist. 2 floating keepers. This one here is kind of held in with little notches, but it can move if you need it to. The bottom side here, quick release spring bars there, so that's nice to see as well. It's just an odd choice. I kind of expected a leather strap. This one is actually pretty good. You know, FKM is kind of that dense rubber, but super flexible, super comfortable. So it feels good. It's a good length. I think it looks pretty good, at least on this one. The other ones are a little bit too much in my opinion. They're color matched. So yeah, look to change the straps, thankfully. Quick release spring bars, and the spring bar hole placement gives you plenty of clearance to throw on whatever strap you want. So at least on this colorway, I like the strap. I don't have any issues with it. I think the other one's a little bit too much in the color, but that's just me. Some people might like that. But the strap itself, I really can't complain. The strap itself is actually very nice. So there you go, guys. If you are in the mood for a Hanhart Homage, this is the one to get. I mean, it is excellent. This watch is just as good, if not better, than some of the micro brands or my Yemo Rallygraph that I have. This one beats it for less money, and it's a very, very nice watch. I mean, yeah, just can't really complain, especially getting it on sale. You know, I was able to get it for around 160 on the recent sale. So yeah, I think you guys might be able to get it a little bit cheaper just because I'm in the U.S. That does include the tariffs. So, you know, let's say $160. You're getting a very nice pilot style watch. Good bezel action, incredibly nice crystal, good lume, solid movement, nice case finishing. I mean, there's just not a whole lot to complain about. And I mean, it does look incredible. Looks really, really good. I wasn't you know, the Hanhart was never on my radar, but I gotta say, it's a nice looking, just vintage style pilot watch. I do like it a lot. So yeah, I think that's it for me. If you guys like this watch, go down in the video description. You'll see that link there. I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.